Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unmuted. I'm happy to be back again. I am going to be streaming and making videos all month long of June for ALS Awareness Month. Today, I really needed to get on here to talk because I am frankly very frustrated, and I'm frustrated because it seems that there has been no one in the at least our federal government that has even acknowledged the fact that it's ALS Awareness Month. Multiple requests, multiple standings for uh, Pride Month, multiple for Filipino Heritage Month. I think it's Italian Heritage Month. Days get mentioned, has been mentioned for every day since June 1st. Every day, at least one thing has been mentioned. But yet, not a single member of parliament out of 338 MPs has even acknowledged, not just in the House, but period, it's ALS Awareness Month. June. June is ALS Awareness Month. Yet not one person out of every member of parliament, out of the countless senators, I've not seen it. I've seen a declaration by the British Columbian Lieutenant General declaring it in British Columbia, ALS Awareness Month. That's about it. That's the only thing I've actually seen from a government representative, and it's frustrating. You know what's worse though? You know what's been the biggest, just slap in the face to me is the chair of the ALS caucus got to speak on June 1st. He had the opportunity to speak. He was given a slot to speak, and I'll let you see what he said here.
Russell. Mr. Speaker, today is International Milk Day, which is an opportunity to thank our dairy farmers who work tirelessly tooth and nail to provide our country with high-quality dairy products. The Canadian dairy industry plays a crucial role in our economy and our food supply. It is an economic force in rural municipalities. Our dairy products are not only delicious, but they are also produced with love, safety, and sustainability. We are proud of the quality of our dairy industry and its environmental innovation. Today, we celebrate the work of our farmers, producers, and processors, the efforts of which ensure that our tables are graced with delicious milk, as well as cherished byproducts such as butter, yogurt, and cheese. On this International Milk Day, I would like to express my gratitude to these dedicated individuals and thank them for their commitment towards quality and sustainability. Happy Milk Day to all.
Milk Day. Milk Day. That's what the chair of the ALS caucus, when he had the opportunity to speak on June 1st, that was June 1st. And I've been watching every single statement, SO31 period for the House of Commons since June 1st to wait for that one person to come up and say, hey, it's ALS Awareness Month. No, not a single person. And the chair of the ALS caucus, the chair of this caucus, who in my opinion's job is to promote this kind of disease, other than if you're the chair and you're not going to promote, what's the point of being the chair of the ALS caucus? You're not going to do anything for ALS. But he stands up on June 1st to talk about International Milk Day. International Milk Day. And may I mention, and I watched the full statements by members that morning, or that afternoon, I should say. And let me say, I think Milk Day got three other mentions that day by three other different MPs. I think most of them were from the bloc, but still. Milk Day got at least three mentions. Three. ALS got nothing. And chair of the ALS caucus, Francis Drouin, has a platform to talk, and he chooses something that already got mentioned again two to three other times in that same session. Are you kidding me? That's just a kick in the face to every single person who relies on this caucus to thinking that they're doing something. They say they're doing things for ALS. I haven't seen it yet. Yet I've seen it as a stupid, pointless motion that doesn't do anything. That no one that I've seen has upheld. M105 back in 2017, where this government unanimously agreed that Canada would be a leading fighter and combat ALS. so far that was a lie, and no one's upheld the government to those standards. And that's I think we start demanding better. We should absolutely start demanding better. The fact that the chair of the ALS caucus gets up on June 1st, the start of ALS Awareness Month, and he talks about Milk Day, not ALS Awareness Month. And may I say, on Lou Gehrig Day, Jessica Atwin got up and also spoke on something else. The chair and a co-vice chair on the start of ALS Awareness Month and then Lou Gehrig's Day got up to talk. And I was hoping maybe, I was reserving myself maybe for June 2nd, Lou Gehrig Day, for maybe someone that you might that day special. I would have understood that. That's an important day, and I think it holds more meaning than June 1st because it's Lou Gehrig's Day. But to sit there or to stand there having a platform, you're on a caucus for ALS, not a big caucus either, and not an issue that gets enough attention, and not a single person out of 338 people that we elect has the decency to even stand up and say it's ALS Awareness Month. No one has done. I haven't even seen a Facebook post by the people I follow. Nothing. It's silence. It's shameful. It's disgusting. And we need to start demanding better. And this is how we need to start. Firstly, I want to say this. I will be starting a petition, and I will openly saying I am demanding the resignation of Francis Drouin as chair of the ALS caucus. For me, this was the last straw. You had a platform to at least bring awareness as chair of the ALS caucus. And it's not like Milk Day didn't get attention. It got attention from at least 2 other MPs on that day. I don't like to use this platform to bring down. I usually like to raise up the MPs who are doing good with ALS and good on many issues. But Francis Drouin has driven me to this point. He's driven me to this point. I have tried to meet with him on I think I've sent 5 separate emails on a few different accounts to try and get him to meet with me. The chair of the ALS caucus will not even respond to someone wanting to talk to him about ALS. That's shameful. And either his staff is intentionally blocking or he is intentionally ignoring. One or the other. It's not, or he just is so incompetent that he just can't remember, or staff is that incompetent they can't remember to respond to a bloody email. Now, they have responded to me in the past when I first tried emailing them, and they asked if I was a constituent. I'm not. And I understand. The MPs have to prioritize their constituents. I have no problem. But there was no effort. After I said no, the conversation was done. They never got back to me. It was like gone, over, not happening. And as I said, I don't like to do this. I don't like to use this platform to go after people in a negative sense. But Francis Drouin has driven me to this point. He has failed. And that's why I am demanding his resignation as chair of the ALS caucus. He has not done his job. And when given platforms, he doesn't talk about ALS, not even once. I don't think I've seen him mention ALS except when he's meeting with an ALS group or organization. So he uses, basically what I've seen is he's using ALS as a PR campaign, which needs to stop. And we need to demand better of our public officials to stop using this as PR campaigns to get reelected or just to look better in the media. I am beyond frustrated because I work my ass off to get to this stuff awareness best I can, and that is not easy enough. But to have someone in that position of power and authority, and you don't even use it properly, that's done. And so to this is just, we need to start demanding better. And if they're not going to do it, we need to replace them with people who will. And I don't necessarily mean we should remove them from parliament, but but Francis Drouin needs to step down as chair of the ALS caucus. I'm not saying we need to remove him from the caucus, but clearly he's not doing his job as chair. I am sick and tired of seeing the chair of the ALS caucus not be the one to mention ALS. I think he mentioned it last year at some point, but this year it was Milk Day. I'm beside myself. I get frustrated because it's very clear majority of people don't care about ALS. I get that, and I'll admit it. I know some people say we need to do more to build awareness, but here's the thing: is it's so rare, it's hard to do, and people die so quickly. It's hard to put these people out there as examples. So you're putting out pictures of people who died. That's still not enough sometimes. What's worse is you have people part of these governmental caucuses who say they're going to do things that they don't. It's tiresome, and you want to trust these people. And I trusted that many people in the ALS caucus will do it. And I've tried to contact a lot of them. I think I contacted every one of them but two. And only two of the ALS caucus members have met with me. Two. Todd Doherty and Tom Kimmich, who I think are actually the only two on that caucus who are actually doing anything to help fight ALS. Tom Kimmich and Todd Doherty, and I will say Carrie Lynn Finlay as well has done some good things. And, I was very impressed with her because she joined the caucus about a month after meeting my father at ALS. I think those are the only three that actually have taken any form of action when it's come to ALS issues. 3 out of, I think it's 15 on the ALS caucus. We need a new chair of the ALS caucus. Enough's enough. Francis Drouin has had plenty of opportunity. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. I'm done with him parading around. I don't even think he parades around as chair of the ALS caucus. I think it's just a position that he can put on his resume to tell people he cares about things. But he hasn't done anything. Please show me, Francis, what you have done on the ALS file. Because what I've seen, you'd rather talk about milk more than you talk about ALS. Is that what we want from a chair of an ALS caucus? When you're given a platform on June 1st, the start of ALS Awareness Month, you go and talk about milk? Don't get me wrong, I love milk. But that shouldn't get more attention than ALS. All these Heritage Month, they get every Heritage that has it's this month is their Heritage Month has gotten daily mentions every day. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but how is it we can recognize Italian and Filipino Heritage Month every day, but we can't mention ALS once? Not once. It's been over a week since ALS Month has started, Awareness Month has started, and not a single mention from anyone in government. This is why we need more advocacy. And I think we need to start showing that we will not tolerate inaction, lies, and just talk. I get just talk from so many, not just politicians, but so many different groups and organizations about ALS. They talk, but they don't do anything. I don't know anyone who has actually been very active on ALS since I've been a part of it, honestly. And the problem becomes is there's so many people vying for fame and want to be written in the history books. And I think it's time we start looking at people who say they want change of ALS and haven't done anything on record and start making sure they're putting poorly in the history books. As I said, I didn't want this platform to be this. But I think now the only reason people are going to hear me and actually hear out what we need done is when we start taking out people out of these positions who aren't going to do what they say they're going to do or aren't doing what we want these positions to be. And I've heard from so many people in different ALS organizations that the ALS caucus is super disappointing and has failed. I agree. I don't know what the ALS caucus has done for ALS other than meet with organizations, used it as PR campaigns or something like that. Now, I know there are some individuals in the ALS, as I said, Todd Doherty and Tom Kimmich. Those guys have been amazing. They Tom Kimmich has been very active on the PMPRB, and I love his doing. Todd Doherty has been amazing on getting the word out with ALS and as much as he can. I know, and these guys have other important things to worry about. I understand MPs have other things they need to do, but when you are on the ALS caucus, When you choose, and this is something you choose to join. It's not something you're forced to join. It's not something you have to join. It is something you choose to join. When I expect you chose to join this, I expect you to at least put some effort into doing something. Francis Drouin is on the government side of the benches. He has connections, I am sure, to the Minister of Health, the Deputy Minister of Health, the Secretary of the Minister of Health, the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister. Can we not? Do you use your position to get things done, to get Health Canada to get moving on issues? Is it that hard? And if it is, if you're that poorly placed in the party that you're in, that it has control of government, then we should get someone else in there. You should be getting someone else to do it then. But I personally don't believe Mr. Drouin is that poorly set in the party. I don't believe that. And if he is, that's a shame. But maybe we need someone else taking the head on this. Actually, not maybe. We need someone else taking the head of. I haven't seen Mr. Drouin do anything. And if he has, the proof's in the pudding, but we're not eating it. So let's show me what you've done. Defend your position of why you should be on this chair still, because I'm not seeing it. Something has to change. And it starts with us, the ordinary people, the people who know what ALS is and what it does to people. We have to be the ones to demand something. It will not change on its own. Don't expect things to change for the way. We need to demand them, because that's what people with ALS deserve. That's what the families who have family members with ALS deserve. They deserve something better. So demand it, because it's not going to be given to you. You are not going to be given something better. Certainly, people like Francis Drouin aren't going to give it to you. You're going to have to demand it. And how we show people that we're going to get it, not just demand it, we're going to get what we're going to demand, is by removing those people and showing that the voice of the voice of the people with ALS is not a voice to be ignored. And I am done. I am done asking nicely for this stuff. I am. I've asked nicely too many times to be just pushed out of the way, stomped over, ignored, or spit on. And I'm frustrated, because there are so many people who say they care about things. So many people who say that, yeah, they want change, but they don't do anything. I don't think anyone actually cares about anything anymore. I think it's just a PR stunt on social media to say that, just to make yourself look better. And if that's the truth, stop it. Stop pretending to care. Because in reality, no one really cares what anyone else thinks. They'll hit a like button, except if it's ALS. It gets pretty ignored pretty generally. People don't even like my videos for some reason, even though I get tons of people around saying I want to support you as much as I can, but they can't even hit a bloody like button, a bloody share button, or even comment on anything. Some people do. And I really appreciate the people who follow this, like this, share it around. That's how we get awareness. But to the people who say they care and then they totally ignore my efforts, what does that say? It says, why should I believe anything anyone who says they care that don't do anything? It's disheartening, but it's the reason why what I'm doing is so important, because it's very clear that it doesn't have the traction that it needs, and it's why I need to continue doing this. Because I'm not going to give up just because I get frustrated, just because people ignore it or people don't want to be part of it. I don't care. But we need better. And it starts with people affected by it demanding it. And that's why we need to start with Francis Drouin. That's why we need to remove him as chair of the ALS caucus. And I'm going to be starting a petition. I'm just openly saying right now, I'm openly demanding his resignation for the ALS chair of the ALS caucus, because it has absolutely been abused at this point. He's done nothing on the file. He's done nothing for people with ALS. He's just sat there using it as a PR stunt to say, look on his resume what he's done. And I'm done with it. I'm done ignoring the people who take advantage of the ALS file. It's done. It's over. It's not happening anymore. And we need someone who's going to chair that caucus who is going to lead it to bring change, and that's what it should be. And I hope the ALS community joins me in this fight, because we need change. And it's not going to happen for us. We're not going to get better by sitting, hopefully getting these people, these politicians will do it themselves. And until we get the politician that's coming only in here to only change ALS, or at least their main priorities are change on ALS file, the health file, we're not going to see it without pushing someone's hand to do it. And that starts with us. That's my rant for today. Thank you for tolerating the rant. And you know, I just want to say this. I will continue to promote good MPs and promote good public servants and good people doing good work. This isn't going to turn into a negative channel. I never wanted it to come to this, but unfortunately, I only wanted this to be a place to highlight the people doing good, and hopefully that would catch on. But people like Francis Drouin have turned me to this. That seeing that clip was the most insulting thing ever to me in the recent months. And I still watch every day hoping someone somewhere is going to talk about ALS during ALS Awareness Month. I don't think that's too much to ask. Actually, I don't think that's really anything to ask. I think it's the bare dang minimum to ask. And I hope next week, I hope we'll eventually, before the end of June, we'll get an ALS Awareness Month person coming out and saying, hey, it's ALS Awareness Month. But until that point, I guess I'll be the funnel to open up and remind everyone it's ALS Awareness Month. You haven't heard it yet from anyone of high importance, but I'll say it in the meantime. So it's ALS Awareness Month. So let's end this on a positive note. It's ALS Awareness Month, a great time, and a great time for us to spread the message and spread the voices of those who no longer can cry for help but want to cry for help. It's something we need to keep doing. We need to keep fighting for ALS, because if we don't, no one will, and that's why I'm doing this. Things don't happen on their own. It starts by one person throwing a rock in a puddle and hopefully turns into a tidal wave into change here, and that's what we're looking for. And it starts with the grassroots people demanding better, and that's what we need to do. We need to start demanding better, and we do that by raising awareness, and we do that by making this an issue that all Canadians and just everyone around the world can agree needs to be dealt with. And unfortunately, this is a disease that's very common. It's a rare terminal illness. And I understand points. You know, I didn't know about this disease till it affected me, and that's what I'm trying to change. It shouldn't have to affect someone for someone to care. And I wish someone told me that, and I could have started this 10 years ago. I really do. I really wish I could have started this movement 10 years ago. But sadly, I got started late, and I wish someone told me so I could have started 10 years ago, and someone truly made me care. And I really hope if this even reaches one person and they really take this to heart and really start fighting on their end, I will consider this whole thing, including rants like today, a success. So let's keep up the fight, and let's keep up demanding better. And let's let everyone know June in Canada is ALS Awareness Month. Let's get the color purple flying all over Canada, because it is such an important month, and it is such a time that we can remember those we've lost and continue fighting for those who still have a chance, because every day is a new day, and every day we still have a chance to save lives, and that's why we're doing it. So please make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe wherever you're watching this on, whether it be Facebook or YouTube or Spotify. But just make sure that you are just sharing this around. It helps build the awareness. Make sure you like, you comment, subscribe, is wherever I said. building that kind of stuff helps grow this as high as it can. So please, let's keep it up. Let's keep sharing awareness, and of course, let's keep demanding better, and let's start unmuting issues like ALS. Thanks, everyone.